always tell when a streak's going to come to an end. You win a couple of games, you probably shouldn't.
There are teams out there that could use that quality of playoff goaltending. All right, Ray, you ready to do this?
Yep, let's go.
Powered by Rev Media in partnership with TSN, it is season 7 of the Rain Dregs Hockey Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, Tim Hortons. The NHL hockey cards are back with a fresh 234 card collection from Upper Deck. Find your favorite NHL stars, specialty inserts, and rare autographed cards. You could even uncover golden prize cards for a VIP trip to the 2026 Stanley Cup Final, or for the first time ever, perhaps even win a brand new car. And Ray, you're on the road. You're doing the Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins this Thursday evening. So when you get home, you're going to get a package from Tim Hortons that has a number of card packs, the NHL card packs, right? Okay. But there's also one pack that's been opened in there. And I feel like our good friends at Tim Hortons strategically placed these cards opened in the package. So look forward to it. So here's an example. So this is called a National Selections card. All right. 4 Nations, Sidney Crosby. Okay, look at, see that?
There it is. Oh, yeah. The whole background changes too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Really great.
How sweet is that? Not quite what we were used to, right?
I was just going to say, I'm sure you didn't have those. I was collecting something different back in the day.
Yeah. Another example is the golden card. That's a Cale Makar.
Yeah.
I don't know if the background shifts on that one. Anyway, I mean, it's just kind of a fun thing. And you and I have talked about our experiences, but more and more, I look forward to cracking the packages. And I collect them purely for donation purposes because, as we've shared, they're a fun silent auction item for the Darlene Jackson Memorial Golf Tournament, where we help manage out west. But I got to tell you, I don't know how many packs I've collected already, and it's bugging me a little bit not being able to open them. So I think I'm going to now collect for myself, right? The next 10, 15 packs, I'm going to open them just for me.
I'm thinking my grandson Enzo is going to be pretty fired up. He's a collector, and he loves putting the cards in his order, whichever it is.
That's awesome.
So so we're I think Enzo's gonna be pretty pumped up here.
Sure. We'll get to the Canadian Brewhouse headlines in just a second here, but obviously you guys are a big soccer family, right? You've got Riley at Penn State. Reese is on his way, plays high-level soccer. I know you guys talk about it all the time. Why wouldn't you? It's just such an enormous part of your life. I've never really experienced that, right? So I don't know how I got into this rabbit hole yesterday, but I was bugging you a little bit via text.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I knew who Roy Keane was, Manchester United captain, all that. I had no idea of the career of Roy Keane or how snarly an SOB this man was. And that's the beauty. You can get into dark Instagram holes where you're like, how did that pop up in my feed? And then you got to wait a day or two and it kind of resets. But it was one right after. I'm not joking. I'll bet you I watched 100 Roy Keane videos. Like him as an analyst and how surly he can be, how cutting to the point. So look, I mean, I'm well past Roy Keane's days, but soccer is a new fan. I'm going to follow along a lot more closely.
Yeah, he's a savage. Savage.
Oh, jeez.
How about some of the highlights? How about the highlights when he played? When you start seeing some of those, I mean, it was a different game. Well, like everything was a different game, but man, oh man, he would have been a part-time participant in today's rules. That's for sure.
Just simply because he would have been sidelined, taken out of games, etc. For how mean and dirty he was at times. Fantastic. All right. Headlines brought to us by Canadian Brewhouse. Hey, hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. You can catch every game. They've got beer specials, game day prizes, a lot more, all at the best hockey house in town. See in-store at thecanadianbrewhouse.com for details on what your local brewhouse is up to this hockey season. And if you're paying attention, which you always do, to the Capitals, you saw Alex Ovechkin score his 900th NHL goal.
Very disappointed. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, because you were looking for that story tonight, Thursday.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. When he waffled that backhander in, we were like, ugh. Yeah, we wanted it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 6-1 win over the St. Louis Blues, who are, I mean, I don't even know if we can describe St. Louis as hot and cold. They're kind of all over the map right now. But for Ovie's goal turned out to be the game-winning goal. And among all the career stats that jump out at me, this is one of the more significant ones. And I know they're, the goals speak for themselves. He's the first player in NHL history to score 900 goals. How about 138 game-winning goals over the span of his career? Okay, 138.
So obviously, we were poking around yesterday as we were watching the game. And so the game-winning goals to me are a little goofy because you could score the second goal in a 7-1 win. And that second goal could have been in the first period, and that's a game-winning goal. I mean, the number is, he's got, I believe the correct number is 324 power play goals. If he never scored another goal other than on the power play, he's in the top 200 in goals in the history of the game. But that's if he just went out there for power plays and then went and sat down. I mean, the numbers are just, they're staggering when you look at them in the context of the history of the game, right? And how many great players there's been that have done amazing things and been 250 goals short of him. So tonight, I'm really curious. Like, Crosby got his 1700th point last week. Ovie got his 900th goal last night. I wonder if those guys ever sit down and think about historically what they've accomplished, or maybe that's just for later on in the day, or in their days. But it's not like, oh, they had a good season. They've had 20 in a row, or Sid's got a point. Sid's got a point a game. Right now, he's on pace for his 21st straight year of a point a game.
It's crazy,
like, unfathomable. And look, we're really blessed. I think sometimes we forget, Dregs, because we're watching, and we're just stuck in the watching. But we've watched Ovechkin start to finish. We've watched Crosby start to finish. Evgeni Malkin start to finish. Malkin has got the most points of any Russian player in the history of the game. And it feels like he's a little underappreciated because he's always the second story here in Pittsburgh. And
agreed.
And so I read a really great article by Rob Rossi in the Athletic. He talked to several of the Russian players that have played over the last 25 years and how they talk about Ovechkin and Malkin, about their place and their status. And it's really, really a very cool article.
It's hard in a few words to describe the depth of that rivalry in the best possible way, right? Between Crosby and Ovechkin over the span of their careers. It's hard, isn't it? Because they're both superstars and have been basically from the moment they broke into the National Hockey League. Both have won a Stanley Cup. Both have had international success, all of those things, right? And it isn't as simple as saying, but Ovechkin has scored 900 NHL goals, so maybe he gets the edge. I mean, but the fierce level of compete between these two men in the most respectful way is equally impressive to me. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody who's listening to me, but they're not bitter rivals. They're respectful rivals.
I think they've grown into respectful rivals.
Right.
If you remember the early days, those series were wild because they play, like, just think of the great fortune the league has we had as fans, that they're drafted at the same time, right? Like they're, a year apart. They're in the same division. Like if Crosby had been, remember when that lottery came, it was Anaheim and Pittsburgh. Yeah. Like Crosby very easily could have been in Anaheim. And Ovie and Sid would have been like ships passing in the night. They would have never played each other 2 times a year. That would have been it.
Yeah.
And this way they kept tripping over top of each other. And it's just been amazing theater for all of us to watch. I mean, I honestly think back to the early series, and those series were vicious, wild series. And man, it was great stuff to watch.
Speaking of great theater and fun to watch, and in the moment I went, you DB, meaning Jordan Binnington. And as he skates out of the crease, he's got the puck and he stashes it in his pants. Like he's clear. Yeah. He's doing one of two things, right? He either wants Ovie's 900th goal puck, or probably more to the point, as we know Jordan Binnington. You talk about fierce competitors. This guy's right up there with some of the best in history. Maybe he just didn't want Ovie to have it. Maybe he just didn't, I'm not going to give you that moment entirely. But the linesman and the TV world, of course, catches the whole experience. But, oh, my God, I chuckled as soon as I saw it. I went, oh, boy.
Well, Dregs, I associate with that second thought of Binnington that you have of Binnington, in that, when people say, who do you cheer for? And I say, well, if I can't win, I hope nobody wins. Like, why would I cheer for somebody else if I can't win? And so he's like, yeah, you can't have the puck. And so somebody clearly on the Capitals bench said, hey, where's the puck? And they asked the linesman, and and everybody starts, hey, have you got it? I don't have it. Do you have it? I don't have it. And then somebody must have said, hey, wait a minute. There's only one place it could have been. And, so good. And he's got it tucked down in his pants. Like what? It was awesome. What would have been funny is if it would have been like when fans throw a fake baseball back, they keep the real one.
Yeah.
And
we've
throw
seen that.
Yeah. If Binnington had another puck in his pants, and in case he scored, and like handed like a scratchy old practice puck back or something, that would be good work.
I didn't make the baseball connection, but the first thing I thought of is, okay, well, if the Caps bench doesn't see or know he's done this, and it's, if it goes into the dressing room, you're not getting that puck back. Like, I mean, it could be any puck. It could be like whatever.
Well, there are markings on the puck that would distinguish it, I think, as a game puck. But you're right. If it goes into the locker room, it's gone. So somebody must have asked, as I'm thinking about this, somebody must have asked or said to the linesman right away, hey, we don't have the puck.
Yeah.
But then the play was going on.
I love it.
So they got to wait for the play. What if the puck would have fallen out of his pants? Like if the play is going on and then all of a sudden that Ovie's puck is sitting in the crease again. Like, that was interesting. But really quickly on the Blues, oh boy, they got some problems. They just don't look right, and
they don't.
I wonder, Doug Armstrong he's patient to a point, and I wonder if they're the first team that throws a little shaker into this thing, like if
never sits back on anything. No.
I wonder if they're the first team that makes a move.
And playing back to back. So the clunker last night, and they're playing a Buffalo team in Buffalo on tonight, Thursday night, that has dealt with adversity and seems to be coming through it. So it's not going to be an easy one for St. Louis. And I wanted to revisit the overtime goal Tuesday in St. Paul. Marcus Johansson scored the winner for the Minnesota Wild.
Right.
Preds goalie Justus Annunen knocked the net off. Now, Johansson's initial shot hit the side of the net before he poked it across the goal line where the net should have been. And I think that's what created the frustration for Nashville and confusion for
for sure,
for the fan base, because the call on the ice was good goal. The Situation Room then reviews, and they agreed. Their conclusion was that Annunen pushed the net off, and therefore it was a live puck. It went across the line. Good goal. Everybody moves on. Overtime winner. Sucks for the Preds. Is that now? There was a rule change, so that now is more to the point on goalies forcing the net off, and the allowance that the referees in the Situation Room now has to use that as the example. So in that regard, I thought it was the right call, and I thought it was handled well. How about you?
I guess, I mean, by the rule it is. There's no need to make a rule change because a really odd play happens. This is how we got into this offside quagmire. And I use that example a lot because that when Matt Duchene was 30 feet offside and a linesman missed it somehow, he just missed it. Then all of a sudden it became the simplest rule in the book became now one that we take video review and look for centimeters and inches away of whether a guy's on or offside. The only problem I have with the ruling is when Johansson shot the puck and it hit the side of the net and came right back to him.
Yeah.
If the net's not off, the puck hits the side of the net and goes behind the net.
Right.
But because it was turned, it came right back to him. and so I know the integrity of the posts determine whether that can be a good goal or not. But it's such an odd circumstance. And I mean, that play couldn't happen. Well, it won't happen again. It hasn't happened. We haven't seen it. It was not going to happen again. But what a weird, strange play. And then, everybody's kind of standing around and they think it's a goal, but they probably went back in their huddle and they're like, do you think that counts?
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, it's such an odd play. I don't think anybody would have put it this way. I will say this with 100% certainty. The players on the ice did not know the rule. No chance. There were times there would be a rule change and we would be arguing with the linesman or the referee about a play. And they'd say, that rule was changed in the summer. And we'd go, oh, missed it. And like the players, they know that we all knew the rules, but not the nuance of them for sure.
No, but I'm always reminded of this. Colin Campbell said this years ago, and maybe it was just coming out of the Matt Duchene offside and the implementation of a video review, the unintended circumstance that is going to come out of it, all of it. But I'm reminded of his comment. He said, okay, well, we always have to think of what if this happens in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, right? And it's possible. And
well, it did happen. It happened.
Are you
it was
okay
Game
with
6,
the look?
right?
Yeah, fair. Anyway, it's just
it's a great reminder because there's a great old joke about theory and reality, and that I can't tell. And in theory, these rules look fabulous when they're on paper.
Yeah,
and in reality, they happen, and there's 3 other things that possibly can be tied to it. And that's exactly what Coley's talking about.
Stamkos with a buzzer beater in that game for the Preds. One-timer to tie the hockey game. An example of really what we've seen from Steven Stamkos throughout his career. Yet this year, Ray, he's been cold. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points in 15 games. Is it father time? Is it the Preds maybe not being that good generally? What are you seeing?
Oh, I think it's both of them, or both of those theories. The thing with Stamkos is he always, I shouldn't say always, that's not right. As his career moved on, he really needed a facilitator. He needed someone to deal him the puck. Remember when Steven was young, how he could skate and create his own shot off the rush and come out of the corner on a cycle, and he was quick enough to get out into a place to shoot. He could create all by himself. As time went on, like most players, you need somebody to get you the puck, to pass it to you, to put it on the tee for you more frequently. And in Tampa, of course, he had Kucherov to do that. so often. You get to Nashville and they don't have any centers. They just don't. And 2 summers ago, they went out and signed Marchessault. Barry Trotz signed Marchessault and Stamkos, and then you put them with Forsberg, and you still don't have any centers. So to me, it sounded like a little bit like fantasy hockey. Like you go and you get these guys that can all shoot, but nobody can get the puck. Nobody can create. And we watch, Dregs, we watch games all the time. The rush chances, there's more of them in October than there is in January. There always is. And it becomes harder and harder as you get older and Steven has had, I think, has had a really difficult time getting to the place to shoot it. Now he's playing some center again, and the roster's mismatched, and that's really the biggest problem they got there. And to tie it to the story we've had week after week after week, everybody's looking for the same player.
You're right.
He's just not sitting there.
No. Nice night, Ray, for Nazem Kadri Wednesday night. 1,000th NHL goal. Naz didn't disappoint.
Game. 1,000th game.
Yeah. Sorry. It would have been a much bigger deal.
Yeah, that would have been it.
1,000th NHL game. He made it, 3-1, I guess, with his 4th of the year in that 5-1 victory over Columbus. I didn't watch all of that game, I'll admit. I wanted to see the ceremony, the opening part, in acknowledging the 1,000th NHL game for Kadri. But when I look back at the highlights, I'm looking, Calgary's still kind of stuck in the mud. Who's kidding who here? But you've got Naz who scores. Macklin gets the empty netter, granted. Frost has been contributing. Farabee gets a goal last night for the Flames. Their goaltending was really, really good. I mean, that's the Calgary Flames team, unfortunately, that you got to see every single night, right? I mean, for this team to have a chance and be in the playoff conversation, that's the group that has to find a way to deliver.
Starting with the 1,000th game, and it's really while it's more frequent now because guys get to play 82 games in a season, it's still such a rare thing and really should be celebrated. My 1,000th game went a little different. We lost 1-0 in Dallas, and I was -1. I got scored on the first shift, and so I didn't quite get the same finish that Naz had. I think Calgary's season last year didn't do them any favors. It was such a lightning bolt, and I think if you get to Craig Conroy, the GM, he would tell you there's a longer road here as we're trying to develop these younger guys and get more younger people in and become more creative and a better offensive team. And now they got this Rasmus Anderson thing hanging over their head. What's going to happen there? And I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, I didn't have them in my 8 in the West.
No.
And I think the people that did are assuming that last year was a floor and they're going to spring off the floor. And I don't view it like that. I thought they would, my guess is they would take a step back while they're still pushing along the road that is a developmental one for them.
I wanted to wrap up headlines talking about, and avid listeners, frequent viewers on the YouTube channel of Ray and Dregs might be surprised that I would want to talk about a San Jose Seattle game. But Macklin Celebrini is a big part of the reason why you have to talk about the San Jose Sharks. He had a goal and 2 assists. So San Jose is now 4-1-1 in their last 6 games. 25 goals, 63 points for Celebrini in his rookie year, Ray. 8 goals, 13 assists in 14 games this season. I mean, that's a tidy little start, and this kid's game is rounding into form very quickly, isn't it? And we're drawn to the goals and the assists. All of that stuff matters when you look at the point sheet at the end of the night, at the end of the year. But that's just a fraction of what this kid is developing into right now.
My comparable, I'm going to keep saying it till it's proven to be wrong to me, is he's just he's a younger Sid. He really is. The engine that he plays with, the determination that he plays with, The difference is there's Sid was always pretty tight, right? He kept everything in pretty good.
Yeah.
Macklin's like this joyful 19-year-old that's just having the time of his life, and he is a tremendous player. He can shoot the puck. He creates for his line mates. He's as close to a 200-foot player as you're going to find in a 19-year-old. First of all, there's not many in the league anyway, but I think he's just a special player. And San Jose plays a little bit like, I watched most of the Chicago-Vancouver game, and San Jose and Chicago are very similar in it's kind of pond hockey. It's wide open. Man, they've got some talented kids, both teams. And so last night, Bedard gets an empty netter. I think that's 7 for him. Macklin scores. Those guys grew up in North Vancouver about 6 feet apart. And they're, they skate in the summer together. And when Mac's around Vancouver, and it's, man, the game is, there's always something next. Right?
Yeah.
We started talking about Ovie and Sid. These guys are part of that next group. Or there's probably a group in the middle. I shouldn't say that. But add these guys, put Demidov in there.
Oh.
And Matthew Schaefer. Like, these guys are 18 and 19 years old, and they're so good. They're so good. It's really something to watch them.
Team Canada Brass is meeting this weekend, Sunday and Monday. And really, they're starting to pare down the list, right? Get it as close to 35 as they can. I think that's the expectation by the conclusion of their meetings on Monday. I know that Pierre LeBrun, we're going to talk about it as part of our coverage on insider trading later today. But I don't think anybody should be surprised if there's a real strong Four Nations element to Team Canada's roster. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be? These guys won, and you look at their defense, as experienced as it was. People want to question Drew Doughty. I'm not in that camp. I think the experience that he provides, the leadership, all of that actually matters, in an event like the Olympics. But there will be decisions made up front as well. And I don't think you can take both Bedard and Celebrini, but Celebrini to me is damn near a lock. And I know that's saying a lot when you look at some of the other considerations. Scheifele's had an excellent start. Nick Suzuki, excellent start. There are going to be some real tough calls made by the brass of Canada and ultimately John Cooper.
So, of course, it's going to have a strong Four Nations flavor because the players we're all going to debate are going to be the bottom 5 or 7 on the roster.
Yeah.
So that means, by definition, 3/4 of the roster is going to be the same. The one thing I would say about looking at these players, you have to view them not as they are with their league teams, but what they will be with the national team. So Drew Doughty's an excellent case because in LA, he plays about 24 minutes a night, 23 minutes a night. They're not asking him to do that with Canada. Right. They're asking him to play 14 or 15 minutes. And so, that's something that he can easily handle. The Celebrini, Bedard, changes around the edges of the roster, man. Tom Wilson's got 8 goals. You don't think he's in this conversation?
Sure.
Of course he is. Yeah. I think the roster gets really crowded, and it's not the best players that go at the end. When they're filling out that roster, it's you think Brandon Hagel's on that team? I do.
I do too.
Is he one of the best players? No, he's a really good player, and he can do lots of different things that John Cooper's going to need in the moment of a game that somebody else can't do.
Yeah,
but Hagel can. He can kill penalties. He can rustle up a forecheck. He can play with energy. If you're in a little lull against a game, against a team. The other thing to remember. This tournament is not the Four Nations. It's longer. You need you need to be able to move people in and out you need versatility in your roster. And I think that helps certain guys and does not help others.
Yeah. Well, goaltending would be a big question mark.
Boy.
It is. And we saw, I wouldn't call it a showdown, but Logan Thompson. Did you catch the Washington Capitals video post after the game last night. So Logan Thompson.
I did not see that.
Okay, I'll send it to you. So Spencer Carberry addresses the team post game, and he talks about how well they played in their hammering of the St. Louis Blues. And he looks over and he says, "LT, Logan Thompson, statement game for you."
Right.
Well, statement game because he's going head to head with Jordan Binnington, who I also feel is close to a lock, wouldn't he be for Canada? And then whoever was taking the video, Ray, cuts over to Thompson sitting in his stall, and he's like, no. Like, let's stop this talk right now. And I don't know if he wanted it to be edited out or what, but it was like, okay, got me thinking about it, right? So there are your two goalies. Probably Montembeault isn't having the start that he was hoping. Aiden Hill is hurt. So
well, okay. So
pretty big question there.
The other night, we're watching Montreal and Philly, and Montembeault comes in with like an .844 save percentage or some ridiculous number. He gets beat 3 of the first 5 shots. So if you're doing the math, then it's now down in the 700s, right? It's terrible. And then he stops, I think, 32 in a row.
It was stellar after,
unbelievable after. And you're like, that's what Canada's trying to figure out. And in the statement game, you've got the general manager of the team sitting up in the booth watching the game. And pucks are going in one net. Pucks are going in one net and not in the other. Thompson's had 9 starts this year.
Yeah.
All 9, 2 goals against or less.
I mean, he's terrific, or has been anyway, right?
So there is a story brewing there, that's for sure, in Canada's net.
Okay, let's wrap up the Canadian Brewhouse headlines with this. And I do want to go back to the Seattle San Jose game, because Ryan Winterton scoring the lone goal for Seattle, his first NHL goal. And I bring it up because it was a nice moment for a nice young man and a terrific family. You're aware of this story, Ray. Yeah. Ryan's older brother, Jake, is battling cancer. So obviously that's weighing on everyone's mind, including Ryan. He's playing through this. So a moment to remember for the Wintertons, and just a shout out to the Seattle Kraken, who've been extraordinarily supportive through Jacob Winterton's fight. And of course, to Ryan, not just everybody. Everybody from ownership to senior management to the coaching staff to Ryan's teammates. So it's the game didn't go the way the Kraken were hoping against the San Jose Sharks, but a nice takeaway for a tough story. There's many of them, but here's another one.
Yeah, I congratulations to Ryan, and you mentioned this to me, Dregs, a little bit ago, and all the best to Jake and in his fight, and to the Wintertons, and to all those that are this month thinking about it in the Hockey Fights Cancer. And we all know, unfortunately, many people in our lives that are fighting this, been affected by this, and it's a moment to reflect a little bit, I think, and think about those people, and think about how the fight goes on, and we send our best to all that are in the fight.
You bet. Well put. And those are your headlines. Thank you to the Canadian Brewhouse. Ask Ray and Dregs anything. We're going to suspend for a few days. Just stuff came up this week, but we do invite and encourage you to send us your queries either to Instagram or X at Ray and Dregs, or on the website, rayanddregs.com. But we do have Chris Sabunia standing by, Ray, and we do this every podcast. We check in on the Tim Hortons NHL Hockey Challenge, and I think Zuby has some good news for one of us. Maybe both. I don't know.
I have good news for the folks that are present here today. For the three of us who are present, Dregs going 1 for 3 back on Tuesday with the help of this guy you guys may have heard of, Connor McDavid, came through for Dregs there. So Dregs is up. Dregs is in the lead in the individual competition here. He's 9 for 24, 225 points. Ray also went 1 for 3 on Tuesday. He's 8 for 24, so only one behind. That could be made up in one night, no problem.
Yeah,
200 points. The head of Rev Media, Ryan Rashog, not so good, man. He came out of he was in first place. I think the first couple of these shows we checked in, he went 0 for.
Did he go again?
He is down.
Oh, that's a flurry of snowflakes.
5 for 24. He's down there in the 20% range. And I didn't come up with anything on Tuesday, but last night was a night where they say, they don't ask how, just how many. So I got empty netters last night from Connor Bedard and Matthew Nyes. So thanks, fellas. I went 2 for 3 last night on a couple of empty netters. So the Ray and Dregs account is up to, I've got 21 correct in total at hitting at 24%. So that's the update for now, fellas.
Good for you. That's exciting stuff.
Have you made your... Sorry, my question first, Dregs, is there going to be will there be an internal meeting here about suspending of Rashog's picking privileges?
Yeah. I mean, there should be. There could be.
I mean, this is something to... Zuby, this is something to discuss. I mean, you've known him a long time. Do you think there's any hope?
I think the best hope is transferring ownership of the account to another Rashog, who apparently has been doing a lot better than Ryan has, and that's, of course, Randine.
Interesting.
I don't know. If I were him, I'd be asking her already. I think she was close. She had a 5 or 6 game heater going at one point in time.
Well, the good news is that Ryan can now take Adam Lowry. It's safe to take Adam Lowry again.
Good news. So. I did laugh. I did laugh in the, when it comes up pick 1. I think it was pick 2. Michael Granlund came up, and I'm like, "There's no chance Ryan's going to pick him, is there? Because he's out in Anaheim. That would be that would be fantastic. That would be the best."
Good stuff. Have you made your selections for Thursday night, Ray?
Yes.
Not quite. Okay. Who are you going with?
You're going to get me on the memory thing, but I know I picked Sid because I'm at the game, so I picked him. I really had good selections today. I just don't remember them.
That's fine. Shane Pinto wouldn't have been out of group 2.
No, I did not pick Shane Pinto. I saw his name, and I did not. Yeah. I did not select. Yeah, you're big on Shane Pinto this year.
Yeah, I'm a big believer.
You've picked him, but you've picked him a few times.
A number of times. So I went Kucherov.
Never a bad choice.
No, and Pinto, and then Sam Steele.
Oh, he was in the third bucket. I know he was.
Yes,
because I looked at his name and I went, "Ooh, I don't know." Oh, I think I took Brandon Hagel today.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, that's why he's on my brain. Oh, and Matvei Michkov.
Oh, okay, he's due. Yeah,
he's got to score. He's got to score.
Yeah, he's due. Zub?
I haven't picked mine yet, but I'm just going to steal all your guys' good ideas. Is my plan here.
All right, buddy.
I wouldn't say they're good ideas. They're ideas. Yeah. They're ideas.
I might like Slavkovsky in that second group, though.
No, never a bad
I'm just peeking at it now.
Give it a go. Put some thought. You represent us all.
Yeah, I'll do
There
my
is
best.
your Tim's hockey challenge, and we'll revisit early next week. Okay, Caps, Pens, and back home.
Have Columbus and Vancouver on Saturday, and Colorado, Vancouver on Sunday. Man, this schedule is not mine.
It's a grind.
The teams are they just can't. There's no time to take a breath.
No.
And so they can say what they want, but it's going to lend itself to some pond hockey that we're going to take a look at in the next month or so, I think.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that storyline for sure. All right, Ray. We'll have a good one.
Dregs, you have a great weekend. I hope everybody listening has one as well. And thank you for tuning in, everyone.
You bet. Thank you to our sponsors who continue to support Ray and Dregs, our title sponsor, Tim Hortons, and the Canadian Brew House. Till next time, stay safe, everybody.